Okay, so I would like to. Hold on, Lori. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Okay. There's.
I don't either.
All right. So, so if I want Lori to come on with me, I go to attendees. Okay. Look at people are on here
Oh, you
already.
can turn her mic
And then
on
I turn her mic on.
if she.
Unmute Lori. Aloha.
So,
Isn't this fun? This is my first time.
mine too. I talk to Lisa Carnes all the time, but now you. This is so cool. I haven't seen you since Hawaii.
I know. I'm so happy to talk with you. I don't think I can see you. I don't know how to do that, or else it just can't be done through this thing. I'm not
It
sure.
says all I have for options is audio or phone call. So
Okay.
I would love to be able to see. I mean, for you to be able to see me. Damn.
Yeah. Well, I'll call customer support. See what happens.
Okay.
What's that?
She
Oh,
says,
somebody else talking.
my girlfriend said on Phoebe's on my phone with me,
Okay.
but she says there's a webcam button I can
left corner of the viewer window.
upper left corner of the viewer window. Oh, oh, oh. Okay. Okay.
Oh, it's so nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. If I see you. What I do? I go back to the camera.
I don't know. You gotta go to something.
Really?
Okay.
Go to
Webcam. Hide all webcams.
minimize yourself.
I minimized myself.
Where'd you go?
Right here.
Where'd you go?
Where did I minimize myself? I don't know.
Well, if you can find you.
Okay, see if you can find me. Bear with me, everyone. I see you on there, and I appreciate you. I see Bob and Christine and Phoebe, and I'm just learning how to do this. And I see Gail. Gail just came on. Aloha.
What the hell just happened? Oh.
Yeah,
I left for a second. Okay, I'm back. That's just me.
Oh.
So it won't let me do webcam.
All right. All right. Okay, let's just minimize that, and we'll start
You
doing
can unmute
questions.
these people.
Oh, I know. I'm just doing one person at a time, so it's not all huge.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. This is my daughter, Akea.
Oh my gosh, it's so show her. Oh, what a sweetheart. Oh my God, she's so precious. So good.
All right. Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. So what kind of question do you have, Lori?
Oh my goodness. Oh shit. Okay.
We were just saying do you write a question down or do you go on the cuff?
Do we write a question down? Actually, Phoebe, what can we ask? Okay, so Phoebe seems like she has collapsed.
Okay.
You know? Okay, and she's trying to help me because a lot has been changing here, and I realized that she's trying to help me see that even shit, I got feedback here. Even the eye that is thinking that it's getting somewhere, that it's being uncovered, that it needs to collapse, is not who I am either.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, that doesn't do anything for me.
We'll see that one that's saying it doesn't do anything for me. That's also a thought.
Right.
So there's really just nothing to do but watch the thoughts. That's it. Just watch them. You don't have to try to stop them, and you don't have to follow them. You don't have to pursue them. You just notice that they're there. And in that noticing, they don't grip onto you.
Huh. Okay. So, um, like say something happened with my husband.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's doing something with the flowers that Lori doesn't like.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. Uh, so Lori says, uh, Peter, don't touch that flower.
Okay.
So that is Lori deciding she doesn't want the flower touched.
Okay.
And it's coming out of mouth
Right.
without a second thought.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the thought is that he's doing something wrong
Right.
and in her world. And
Yeah.
it's just watching that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, see, here's what's happening, okay? It's not that it has anything to do with what he's doing that's getting you perturbed. That sense of discomfort is just a habit. So that actual sense of discomfort is in the body and it's projecting something outward. It's all coming from within. You can actually feel the feeling of it if you're willing to feel the feeling of it. See, a lot of this spiritual stuff is getting to be really mental for people.
Right, and it's lately there has been a lot of seeing of shit and crying a lot.
That's
and
great.
laughing a lot too. Lots of laughing. Oh, nothing is being taken personal anymore. I mean, and it's been brought. Somebody called me a whore. Somebody called me there's been, oh my God. And all I did was laugh. I can't take shit personally anymore.
Yeah.
So who isn't taking shit personally? I don't know.
Well, you know when you've taken something personally if you're getting disturbed, if you have a feeling that's disturbed, okay? That's taking something personal right there. And a lot of the times when we laugh, when somebody says you're a whore, we actually are taking it personal and covering it up with laughter.
No.
So that's something
No,
to also
I actually thought it was funny because literally I have been with my husband my whole life. There's not been anybody else, and I'm 52 years old. We were 14 when we met. So
well, there's a story around it. You see, it's not So what's happening here is when the person says you're a whore, there's not really the open connection with that person and what's being felt. You know, there just comes up with a story, and then it's funny that they called you a whore. You know, that is actually personal. That is actually what makes it personal. See, it's not really relevant whether you're screwing a bunch of dudes or not. That part isn't relevant.
Your daughter just laughed. Whether you're screwing a bunch of dudes.
That part isn't relevant. What's relevant is the sensation that comes up. Okay, the argument with it. Even the story about what you've been doing for however many years you've been doing it is also personal. Okay, you see that, and that's why you're able to laugh at it because you had that story that makes that whatever they said not true, right?
Right.
But if you didn't have that story and you actually are boning up with a bunch of guys all the time, then what? You know.
Right.
So it's like, here's where the connection is. Here's where the love is, okay? When somebody's saying something like that, they're feeling discomfort. They're probably not saying it in a friendly and loving way. They're probably feeling some discomfort. So here's where the connection comes in. It's like you allow that into your experience. You allow their feeling in. You allow that. You could feel them. And you let that be experienced in your own body. And that's how you can be more loving and share love. See, the thing is, there's this idea that we can just go around and love people without this connection. And that's not how it is, because you don't have actually a choice whether you love a person or not. There's not a choice in that. It's just, if you're allowing life to come as it does, you're allowing whatever kind of energy is arising to be fully experienced in you. That's how the desires of the heart and the resistance just gets burned away. And then you're just this open channel to receive and give love, like that. Hi, Brian.
He's got to make it in the video.
Yeah, he loves being in the video.
Okay, so this love that I feel in this body, I literally feel it for everyone in my life. Everyone. Okay. Everyone. No matter what.
Hooray.
So, but I'm not, it's not giving and receiving, right? Or
well, see, here's the thing. Let's go back to what you were saying about your husband and the rose or the flower. Okay?
Yes.
So when that comes up, there's just no space with feeling the sensation in the body. That's why it's just coming right out. And it's not a problem for it to come right out either. It's always just showing. Everything that comes out is just showing whatever's been taken is true. So it's not a big deal to play in the drama or anything like that. It's just feeling everything, letting it be felt. Now, in my own experience, when something comes up like that, like if I don't like something that my husband's doing or my kids are doing or anything like that, I tend to just sit with that sensation. And a lot of the times I don't have to say anything about it. A lot of the times nothing even comes out about how I don't like that, because it'll just pass. If I allow the sensation to just be embraced, then it'll just pass. And then a lot of the times what I notice is it's just not even important. It just becomes not important.
Well, I know that wasn't important. I know it wasn't. The flower having to be it really wasn't.
Yeah, it's just a habit. It's just a habit to be disturbed by something.
Right, because the mind is always looking for something to be wrong.
Yes.
Literally, on the lookout.
Or right, same thing.
Or right. Actually, and since I've been in this space of this love thing, I'm noticing that it is on the search for everything to be right. It's like, oh, of course that's happening because, that's perfect. Everything is perfect. It's all connected. It's like switched from wrong to right when everything just is, right?
Yeah, that's still the mind, it works in different ways like that, but eventually, of course, it all gets cleaned out. You just stay on course. You stay focused on love and peace and self, basically, which is awareness, just awareness. So just feeling. It comes down to just feeling. It's really, really simple. It comes down to just feeling everything, and it's like what the eyes see and the ears hear is only just on the surface. The deeper part of it is the sensation. So when you're just allowing and embracing all the sensations in the body, that's how all this stuff is getting worked out.
Because it has been stored from the time we were young in the body and not able to be felt. Not allowed. Yeah.
Because what's happening is it's resistance to these feelings.
Right.
So they keep on building up, and they will come up, and some people say it's like a wild animal. Something just comes out of your mouth really mean. You're like, whoa, where did that come from?
Yes. Which is made me realize that I'm not doing this.
Right.
It is all just happening.
Yeah. So it's just like allowing the feelings. When you're allowing the feelings to happen, that's this openness that allows everything to work itself out. I like to say it's almost like the sun burning away morning mist. That's what it's like. That's what it's experienced like. Yeah, because it's like you're putting that's the awareness that's on it. Because now the awareness is on the sensation. It's not on the surface.
Right.
Yeah, the surface is there too, but that's what's so easily picked up. That's automatically picked up. Right. So it's turn your attention to going beneath the surface, then that's where these patterns get worked out.
Ooh, I like that.
Me too. Okay, hold on. Let me say something. If anybody else would like to talk to me or has a question for me, there's a way to raise your hand. I see it. It's in the panel under attendees, and there's a little hand. Oh, somebody else has a question. Okay, Lori, I'm going to let you go, and I can come back to you. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Hope.
I appreciate you.
Ditto.
Well, go to Gail. Oh, did I do it? Gail, are you there? Aloha. Go to questions pane. Did she put a question in there? What? Oh, there's Gail. She's writing.
Writing?
I think. She put Braun. Aloha, Braun, and Braun. Okay. For some reason, Gail's microphone is not working. Gail, if you have a question, maybe you can type it to me.
I'm unmuted now, right?
Yay!
Braun's the man. Hi, you two. Love you.
Love you, Gail.
And I was thinking, I don't really have a question at this juncture. I just enjoying what's. It just so happened that it all turned out that I'm now asking a question. So my question is, can somebody else ask a question?
Well, I don't see anybody else who has a question unless you ask another question. If anyone wants to ask a question, just put your hand up.
And that is the right there.
Put your hand up.
Tell them it's in the upper right-hand corner next to the microphone.
It's okay. They just heard you. They just
Good.
heard you say that. Okay, what does this one mean? Not attentive. Okay, Bob, you're not attentive. I don't know what that means. Okay, Christine has a question, so I'm going to go to Christine now. Okay, unmute Christine. Christine? Are you there?
I'm here.
Yay, I hear you, Christine.
Awesome. Hi, love.
Hi, aloha.
Oh, hi. It's wonderful to see you.
Wonderful to hear you.
So I really, really, really enjoyed all of your Facebook posts and have helped me tremendously. I just want to say thank you for all of that and sharing your stuff. And the question that I have is kind of what you were just talking about. How do you stop the reaction? How do you stop that automatic response? You know,
okay.
It's out of your mouth before it's, you know, it's happening automatically, but is there a place where I can put more attention or awareness on that to slow it down or something?
Well, what really needs the attention is that thought that wants to stop it, right? And the feeling behind it. What wants to stop it from happening? What's not just allowing you to just be natural. Okay.
Well, the natural's not so nice, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, go ahead.
Then you've got to clean up the mess of the natural.
I know, but still, it's a matter of letting whatever it is be as it is. See, that's where the resistance is saying that I don't want it to be like this. And how do I stop this? That's also going to come up as a sensation. Okay. And that's also something to be felt. You can feel the sensation of it. So what's happening is when you're wanting to stop that, then you're adding more thought. Whenever you add more thought, then it gets more confusing. Okay. Yeah? So it's about accepting whatever comes. If it comes out of your mouth, okay, it might be messy. You might have to say, oh my goodness, I so did not mean that, you know. I don't know where that came from. So do not do that right now. And that had nothing to do with you.
Okay. Okay. All right, I get it. That totally makes sense, and now I know why I can't stop it. Because it doesn't stop.
Yeah, you just have to give up and know that you can't stop it. And Lori just asked the question, she just typed it in, but who's adding thought? Well, basically what's happening is this thought is arising, okay? It's just circulating the mind, it's a habit, and there's interest in it. Okay, that's where there's a choice. I like to always say you do not have a choice what comes out of your mouth. You don't have a choice of what you do, what you eat, what where you go, all that, who you love. But here's what the choice point is. It's whether or not you are interested in the thought. And see, if you think it's about yourself, then it is. And that's also another thought. So there's this detachment that can arise if there's just a willingness to see this, is that it's all just thought. So it gets added to the sense of self when a thought arises, and it's like, ooh, that one's interesting. Like the one that says, how do I stop this from happening? That thought becomes interesting then. And when it's interesting, it keeps on compounding. The thought keeps on adding to itself. And basically, it's adding on to the sense of self. It's making it thought heavy. It's like a heaviness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask another question? So it's about meditation. The meditation that you taught us to do at the retreat about watching sensation.
Uh-huh.
So I've been doing that. But the question is, do you follow the sensation if it moves, or do you stay in the area where the sensation was?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
That part doesn't matter. Even if you just feel any part, like even if you are only feeling the warmth in your palms, it's enough. Because what's happening is it's turning the attention from interest in a thought to sensation. And it doesn't even matter where it is. It's just that turning of attention. And see, it's not just in the meditation where that happens. The meditation is kind of like practice for that. And you don't really even have to do the meditation. So you don't have to make it like, oh, this meditation is so important, because that's also like adding thought as well. But this putting the attention on what's going on in the body is something that's like a 24/7 meditation. 24/7. Whatever's happening. If you don't
the more you watch sensation, the less engaged the mind is. Correct.
That's right. That's right. And what happens is when these thoughts are arising and they're not getting your attention, you're not interested in them, then they weaken. They lose energy because they need you to feed them. And the more you feed the energy, for one thing, the less energy you have to share. You start to feel depleted. And then for another, that thought gains more energy, is more attracted to your energy body, because it knows it could get fed there. It's kind of like Jehovah's Witness comes over and you keep on letting them in the house, they're going to keep on coming back, right?
I get it.
Or you want to argue with them about their religion, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to even go to the door. You can see the mind starting to go to the door and just be like, oh, that's not even interesting.
Thank you.
This is way more interesting how that feels, actually. It actually is way more interesting, and you start to feel so much joy in everything, and it could be anything. It's just, there's so much ecstasy in every single thing.
Okay.
Okay, hooray!
Thank you.
Thank you, too. I don't see any other hands up right now, so if anybody wants to talk about something, there's Bob. Okay, All right, Christine, I'm going to mute you now, and I can always come back to you. So feel free to put your hand up again, okay?
Aloha.
Aloha. Aloha, Bob.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, do you see me?
I don't see you. I don't think I have that capability.
Okay, you can't see any of us.
I can't see you guys. I don't think that actually this whatever program I have allows for that. But that would be really fun. So maybe I'll keep looking around.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't matter as long as you can hear me.
I can hear you.
So now, okay, yeah. So in your Facebook, you know, you have your little quotations, and so you have some on like love and sex and desire. So you say desire leads to pain and pleasure, but ecstasy is constant. It doesn't need anyone or anything. Springs from the desireless heart shared without reason, expectation, or conditions. And then you say people need sex when their heart is full of desires, but real lovemaking doesn't require any physical contact. It pours forth generously from the space where desire cannot enter. So, yeah, because, you know, love, sexuality, passion, attraction, these are very important topics to be able to have that kind of a feeling and have it be pure. And so, yeah, I just wanted you to expound more on this topic, if you could.
Well, Lori just said so much ecstasy in every single thing. And it's like that ecstasy comes from the heart that's not chasing desires. It's not to say that there's anything wrong with desire. That's what this whole time-space reality is based on. It's just about not letting them into the heart, so to speak. So not letting them become what's needed to feel whole. And it's just a matter of seeing that they can't do that in the first place. That would be pretending. That'd be pretending that your wholeness actually comes from a person, place, or thing, or circumstance. And it doesn't. The wholeness actually comes from within. It's not dependent on anyone else. And it's just being shared with whatever is there. Whether it happens to be a sexual experience, that's not relevant. Could be a sexual experience. Could be playing chess. It could be checking out at the grocery store. It's just shared, just naturally. So it could be any kind of experience. And you know, I used sex there because I noticed there's so much of trying to get fulfillment through sex. There's a lot of, oh, all I need is that. All I need is that, and then I'll be fulfilled. And it doesn't work out that way. And that's why I see so many volatile relationships. You know, because there's this seeking for fulfillment through that, and then there's a whole lot of fighting and being mean to each other too.
Yeah, well, it just seems like that the relationship isn't 50-50, it's 100-100. And so for the relationship to work, you have to be full and complete in yourself, and then you're not desiring something because desire is acknowledging a lack. You're lacking something you're trying to fill from another person instead of being a giver. You know, if you're desiring, you want to take something, but love is your love. My cup runneth over with love. You want to give. You want to adore. You want to worship the divine feminine, the goddess in a woman that she inspires in you. And so then it becomes a giving and a fullness, and then it can become a sacred sacred ceremony where you are merging with God and the universe and each other.
Yeah, and what I see there too, Bob, is just wanting that too is part of that desiring, you know, wanting to have that experience, you know what I'm saying? So here's how something like that would come up in my experience. Like if there's a desire for a particular experience, I'll just still do the same thing. It's very, very simple. Just feeling into that sensation, and it's just allowed to be there right now. And then there's no kind of thoughts around it. There's nothing to follow about it. There's no having to think about it or getting engaged in any kind of fantasy or anything like that, or wishful thinking or anything. Because see, what I see that happens from that, there will be looking for a certain outcome, and then it's like everything gets colored with that. Like, is that it? Is that going to be it? Like it's looking for something. And so it ends up being, you know, there could be some pleasure, and then there's also a whole lot of pain that goes along with it. Because the mind will show you, oh, you didn't get it. You didn't get it. When am I going to get it? Didn't get it. Didn't get it. When am I going to get it? Well, the thing is you have it now. It's now. Like as soon as that desire arises, it could just be there as it is. And being there, that's it. That's it. And then that's basically your communication with the universe too. That sensation, it's so beautiful. Even if it's a sexual thing, you know, it comes up as a sexual thing. Maybe you're thinking of something like kind of, you know, raunchy or whatever, and it's totally okay. It's just like it's just like, oh, let that sensation be, and then you're not following it around. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so but you're saying that that one would be trying to get something, but what I'm saying is that you would be wanting to get something, you would be wanting to give something, and it wouldn't be so much a desire, like I'm looking for someone to give this to.
Same
it
thing.
would just be a
Same, Bob. Same.
You think it's the same thing? Just
No,
just to have.
I don't think it's the same thing. I can feel it's the same thing.
Just because just due to the fact I have that concept about it means that,
That's right.
that it's the same.
Because it's wanting to give, wanting to get. Same. It's the same. Okay.
Well, yeah, but you know, when you think about man-woman relationship and you know, what could be a fulfilling relationship with a woman, then you know, that's what I've come to realize would be a fulfilling relationship. But you're saying, but just my stating that is wanting it and desiring it. I guess you might be right, huh?
That thought is doing that. That thought is doing that. It actually has nothing to do with you. It's just that you're interested in it.
Yeah.
You know? You're showing
Well,
interest in it. You're showing interest in it. It's putting a spotlight on what you don't have right now.
Yeah, right. So,
Okay.
So then what can I do about that?
Feel it. Just feel it. That's all. Yeah, just feel the. Just keep on feeling the sensation and leave that thought alone. Just leave it alone. And that's how you leave it alone. It's like your attention turns. This desiring, it's not doing you any good. Even though it's this thing you want to give, but you know, that's kind of a trick too, because it's also something that you want to experience. And it's wanting. That's the key thing. It's wanting something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what can be felt.
So
that sensation right there. Without the thought of it, though.
Mm-hmm. Just the sensation without the. Yeah. So I guess the thing is, you talk about desire is different from ecstasy that's constant,
Right.
and that you create this space of ecstasy where desire cannot enter. Real lovemaking doesn't require it, you say.
Okay.
Require
Well,
the
there's no
sexual
creating that space, though. There's no creating that space. That's what's naturally there. All this
Right.
other stuff is actually resisting that. All this
Uh-huh.
wanting is actually resisting what's already there. You don't have to create anything. It's there already. It's just dropping.
Mm-hmm.
And by dropping, it's just dropping in, because you're not trying to push a thought away. Because that's just a thought trying to push a thought away. It's just dropping into the sensation, how that feels, how that thought feels. And if it's a thought of desire, it in my experience, it feels great. It's awesome. So when that's just experience, it's like, who needs that thought? It's not going anywhere. It's not doing anything. It's not even relevant anymore. Because now it's experienced. It's fulfilled.
Yeah. Yeah, I get this image of like being completely naked, like stripping yourself of all desires, all expectations, and just in the silent, still nakedness of your being, then life dresses you. The ecstasy dresses
Yeah,
you.
it's kind of like all that clothing just gets burned away.
Right, yeah, that's it. All the desires and the images and the expectations and the hopes just all kind of melt away, like you're going into the fire, and it completely combusts all of your garments and all of the baggage that you have, and you're completely naked, and then you're in the fire of the fire of love, basically.
Mm-hmm. And
You're
then see,
clothed.
here's the thing, Bob. It does not even matter whether your desires are met. And that's what's so beautiful, because it's already there.
Mm.
It's
Yeah, well,
already
that's the idea of being naked, that you're already there. You're already whole and complete. You don't need any of these other accoutrements or costumes or accessories. That you're already full and complete as you are, without adding anything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So,
And
so
then
that's
when
go ahead.
and then you're so much likely. It's funny, because when you absolutely are not even concerned about whether it happens or not, you're so much more likely to attract it. It's the funniest thing. And then when it comes, you're like, oh,
Mm.
that's what's funny. But the thing is that it's like it has to be given up first for that to happen, and there's this addiction to trying to get what we want, or just constantly thinking about what we want and why don't we have it, and I really want this, and I just want to give, and it's not selfish, and all the different little thoughts that come up around it. But they're all not necessary. That's the thing. All the thoughts they're not necessary at all.
Right. Yeah. So that's just it. Just stripping yourself of away all the thoughts and the desires, and then you're just love, and then you don't have to think about anything. You're just radiating it, and in the state of love and ecstasy, and you're not seeking anything or needy for anything. And then, like you say, then that'll be the magnet that would naturally, spontaneously attract whatever expression of love would come into your life from other people.
Yeah, basically whatever you need, you get.
You get.
So,
Uh-huh. So need is different than desire, because
it's just automatic. It's just automatic. It's like you you don't have to mind what it is. You don't have to mind
I don't.
how it or what it is.
I see. I don't have to mind it. The idea is to be mindless and or mindful of love and mindless about desire.
Yeah, if you're just experiencing that ecstasy, then that's kind of like your communication with the world. You don't have to
Uh-huh.
think about it. That's just your communication with the world. And whatever comes up, you can't predict what it's going to be. Thankfully, it's a mystery, but
Mhm.
it's gonna match that vibration of ecstasy for you because that's what's already there. It's all coming out of you.
Right, that's right. So
Definitely.
what comes out of me gets matched out in the universe.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
So great. Well, thank you very much. That clarifies a lot for me.
Well, thank you, Bob. I appreciate you so much, and thank you for holding Wisdom Dialogues too on in person. I appreciate that.
Right. You might give a plug. People in the area. Friday, you got the email, right? That I sent you. That
Yeah,
we
I
sent it.
got no one in the area though on here. Just Gail. The little
Oh,
Gail's
okay.
all the way over in Puaco though.
I see.
Okay, so I have another hand up. I'm going to go over to Christine now. Okay, aloha, Bob. Put your hand up again if you have another question, okay?
Okay.
Aloha, Christine.
I didn't put my hand up again. It must have been from before.
Oh, I'm going to lower your hand now. I'm just learning how to use this. Okay, I'm lowering your hand. I'm lowering Bob's hand. Okay. Does anyone else have a question? Oh, I see a hand. It's Lori. Okay, Christine. I'll be back when your hand goes up.
Okay. So,
I love you. Okay. Aloha, Lori.
I hope. Okay. Ecstasy is coming out of me.
Okay.
That just went whoosh over my head.
Okay. So your energy body is always radiating.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
radiating really high lately, but it's
Okay.
been needy. I'm seeing that it was needy.
Okay.
So it's radiating. I mean, literally, I've been waking up after 2 or 3 hours sleep and I'm raring to go. I'm wide, my heart's pounding. I've got
Okay.
energy just burning.
Okay.
Okay. What's that mean?
Uh,
Is that ecstasy coming out of me?
well, it doesn't. See, that's the thing. Just don't make it mean anything. Just be there
Yeah.
with the sensation. You don't have to label it at all.
Okay.
Just be there with the sensation. I mean, who knows? You could be up because you're burning away at some old patterns or something like that.
Yeah, it
You
seems
get in
like,
a question of like, what does it mean? That's the mind coming in.
yeah,
So
okay.
when that happens for me, I'll just be there with whatever sensation is there, whether it's a racing heart or whatever,
Right,
and just
racing heart. That's exactly.
yeah,
And
yeah,
just let it, just feel it. No labeling, no, or if
yeah,
labeling happens, just no.
uh-huh, yeah. Just see it and feel into the sensation. That's all there is to do, and that's it. And that's where the openings happen. It just letting it just be as it is. But a lot of the time, something like that will come up, and the mind wants to label it as some kind of thing, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
well,
it's always changing. Things are always changing. Sometimes that's not happening, or sometimes you're waking up with a different sensation. So it's just being there. That's all,
it
and
is
that's where it transforms.
because sometimes it's not the pounding heart. It's just bing, wide awake, and now what? I go on Facebook and deal with notifications. I connect with some people who are in the same boat as me.
Yeah, I mean that could happen too. And then what could also happen is just some quiet space there where there's really some attention on that energy in the body.
Okay,
Because a
so
lot of the time, what I see is that that's an opportunity to.
so that's not what Lori does.
It
She's
doesn't matter though. I'm just throwing that out there.
right,
If you
but
go on
I
Facebook and stuff, that's cool too.
well, I'm seeing that I really don't take time for myself. I don't have any quiet. If it's quiet, I'm either sleeping.
Hmm.
I'm. It's always being filled with something.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't take any time to be by myself without some kind of filling.
Okay.
Whether
So then you see that habit to go do something too.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's very common, and like when that happens for me, it's I see an opportunity to
to
be
go
there,
inside.
touch in, allow some transformations to occur, and that's just not buying into any kind of thoughts that say you need to do this or you need to do
Right,
this.
right,
But sometimes I might do something, and that's okay too. They're just knowing that kind of space that's available to just feel and be with sensations at that time. So then what I notice in my own experience, I end up spending a lot more time, but not in resistance. And see, that's the main thing. That's why I don't say, well, this is what you should be doing.
right,
It's
right.
laying there and feeling into your sensations, or maybe going and finding a spot to meditate and sit straight up and meditate. Because if you're doing it under resistance, it's not transformative at all. The mind is doing it. That's the thing. The mind is the thinker, the one that thinks it's doing it. And when that's happening, that's what's adding thought. Even if you're sitting in a meditative pose, you could be adding thought.
Yeah.
So it's more like knowing it's available, knowing that space is available, and allowing it to be when it feels like, oh yeah, this is what's good right now, and then just that's the most beautiful time that I experience, because for one thing, I got a family, and there's a lot going on, and so when it's bing in the middle of the night or super early in the morning or something like
Yeah,
that.
super early in the morning.
Yeah, super early in the morning, I get that too. And it's just like, oh, okay, here's that opportunity to be quiet, to have a quiet time and not have to follow these different things that are going on.
Just watching the sensations in the body, and
Uh-huh.
now I'm anxious for tonight.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's like the kinds of sensations that end up coming. Is they're I guess I could say that they're kind of similar to orgasm, but they're not sexual. They're more.
Right.
I can definitely feel the second chakra. That's the same chakra that has to do with sexuality.
Right.
It also has to do with the energy body, like where the energy comes into the energy body. So definitely I can feel that. I can feel that pulse right there, and I can feel it shooting through the extremities and the feet and everything like that.
What? Wow.
Yeah, and so that, and then noticing when thoughts will come. If there's an interest in thought, obviously you don't feel that. And see, that is what's going on in everybody all the time. That's actually just happening all the time. It's just that there's not awareness of it, because the awareness is on mental activity instead.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
What's happening? Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like always just constant. It's not like I'm making it happen. It's just already there.
Right.
It's just like layer by layer, the mind stuff falls away, and then you can sense it. And that's the life force energy that's just being sensed in the body.
Well, when we first got on, you said sweaty palm to somebody, feeling the heat in your palm. My whole body was full of sweat when we first started talking. I don't know what was happening, but I felt hot. all over. And I don't know what that is about.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. So the mind is trying to put an reason to it.
Yeah, you don't have to know. You don't have to know. But yeah, I've had that happen a bunch of times too. But there's an actual heat that doesn't have to do with sweat that comes through the hands, through the palms, and that's actually like it has to do with Reiki, like when people practice Reiki. That's one name for that kind of energy that basically comes from the heart through the hands. And that's a real palpable energy. So that might be the first place where you put your attention onto the palms when you're feeling that life force energy in the body. Palms and the bottom of the feet are usually the easiest to feel. If you feel a beating heart, you might put your attention there, and it doesn't matter where you put it. You don't have to be methodical about it or anything like that.
Okay.
But it's going to make those thoughts that are arising way less important, for one, and for two, it's going to make you way more aware of what thoughts are arising, because a lot of them are just going without even being recognized. They're just going on kind of in the background.
Yeah.
And there's not even an alertness to them. But as you're aware more of the sensations in the body, you also become aware of what's being thought.
Whoa.
And when it's seen, then that's how it gets dissolved.
Yes. Oh my God, this is exciting. Oh my God.
It is. It is. It's fun, and it's
Fun, yeah.
real, and it's really amazing because it transforms everything. It transforms all your relationships. And I mean relationships, not just personal relationships, relationships with things, and even the government. Like I noticed my relationship with the IRS transformed. Stuff like that. So it doesn't feel, you don't feel like a victim.
Right.
Because all these different things, they just get worked out this way, and it's not so mental. And that's what I see is going on a lot, especially with spirituality and stuff. It's like there's all these ideas about being loving and all this other stuff, but it's like it's not really being implemented except right there in the moment as something is arising. And what's happening is what a lot of people are doing is pushing their feelings away and going into this spiritual mind.
Right, intellectually, yeah, yeah.
It's not the same. There's, and then there ends up being what I see is talk about being loving, but leaving all this suffering everywhere, like everywhere you go. People hurt and bummed out, and because there's this idea that oh, none of it matters. I'm love, I'm just love, and whatever you said, it doesn't matter.
Because the mind makes everything matter. I got that one down.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing: when you're in communication with somebody and they're expressing some kind of pain, the first thing the spiritual mind wants to do is kind of like block that off. It's almost like pushing that sensation away. Like, I don't want that. I'm just love. I'm light. I'm love. And that's where the love can really shine, when there's this willingness to actually absorb that feeling and be there for that feeling and be grateful that that person's sharing that with you, whatever it happens to be. Even if it's hatred, whatever it happens to be. It's all because it's actually all love, and it's all for you, coming out of you. So it's always when there's a sharing of love through it, whatever another person is expressing, that's actually loving you, because there's not another.
Oh, I see. By this coming at me with hate, and love conquers it. Love.
But it has to be.
It
has to be met. It has to be met. It has to be it has to be like the way I feel it is absorbed, like it'll be absorbed. Like another person might be expressing something to me that that is like, hey, I don't like you or whatever.
Yeah.
And allowing that sensation, whatever they're feeling, that's why it's, people call that empathy, I think. I don't know. But empathy, maybe, where you can feel whatever kind of energy is coming toward you and you're allowing it to be embraced.
Yeah. It's not being resisted at all.
Yes, and that's where it gets transformed, because that's where there's compassion. Because then you could feel what they're feeling.
Right. Okay, so but if resistance happens, we're not in control of that.
No, because and see the way that gets broken down too is by just allowing that feeling of resistance too.
Ah.
Like the way I experience it is it's all sensation. It's all sensation. So whatever kind of energy seems to be coming from somebody else, it's just experienced as a sensation. Whatever kind of resistance seems to be arising in myself, same thing. It's all the same. It's all just something to be embraced and experienced. It's actually on the screen of consciousness. It's not actually happening to anyone.
Okay, you lost me on that one. I think that's for another time.
Well, that's where it gets personal, when it seems like it's happening to someone.
Right.
Like resistance is mine, right? So it's just allowing that resistance to arise, and that's how it's seen, as just being a thought pattern and not something that's personal. And the same thing with another person expressing pain, and that's just allowed to be embraced, and it's not personal for them, it's not personal for you, It's just allowing that whole thing to be embraced, and then there can be a sharing. That's the only way there's going to be a sharing of love. It's totally not the same as I'm just love and light, and whatever you're doing, it's over there,
Yeah.
It's totally different energy. And it's very transformative.
Wow. Yeah, because like when my girlfriend is talking about how her husband is she compares her husband to mine, and hers doesn't measure up. And she is bitching to me about him. And when I'm trying to explain to her, to get her to see what he really does for her, because she's looking at it through a little hole. She's not looking at, he is a great guy, and she doesn't see it at all. She's so hurt inside.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get her to see what he does, because she's so focused on what he doesn't do.
Okay, so you don't have to try to do anything. That's the great part.
Okay.
Whenever she's sharing something like that with you, see, it's like there's this automatic thing that goes to why, what she's doing, how she's seeing, which, might be true and everything. But what needs to happen there is just feeling whatever sensation is coming. And that, you're going to be able to touch into that if there's just a willingness to feel that feeling. That's the compassion. So there's no thoughts around it. There's no why
Trying
she's
to
doing
fix it.
Yeah, there's no, because then whatever comes out of your mouth, that's also spontaneous. It's not a mental thing, because you're connecting with her. You're connecting with her feeling. People don't see the whole picture, and they're feeling, they're feeling this suffering. And so when you allow that feeling to just be absorbed, then you're there with her. It's like you're in communion. And then whatever comes out of your mouth can be very healing and transformative for her and you. Isn't that lovely?
Yes, it is.
Because then you don't have to think about anything.
That's the best.
I know. That is the best. That's the total best. You don't have to go to your spiritual repertoire and go, wait a minute, how does this fit,
That's exactly what's been happening. Yes. Oh, my mind activity is crazy lately.
Yeah. So when you feel it, it's just a whole different ball game.
Oh my God. Okay. I am so glad you did this.
Me too. I'll be doing it again too. I'm gonna do it next week. Isn't that fun?
It is fun. Would you again on Monday night, same time?
Well, I'm open to anyone who wants to tell me that they like a different time because I could switch to different times. That's no big deal for me. So
I thought this was great.
you
Perfect.
like? Okay.
I had nothing else going on Monday night.
Yeah, and then I could like move it around and do different things depending on whatever. Because I'm pretty flexible. I just do online business.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. Basically talking with others.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
With
awesome.
people that are on the same, that we all think the same. We all,
Okay.
I just connect with all kinds of people doing FaceTime or Skype.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm very, very blessed.
Okay. Well, I
right.
see some more stuff coming up.
Okay. All right.
And, Christine has a question. Okay. All right. So I'm going to mute you again, Lori, and I'm going to go to Christine.
Okay.
Aloha, Christine.
Aloha. So I know what you're going to tell me, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Fun. I love that.
I know that. I wrote the question, and I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. Okay, I saw how to get the whole thing. Is illness sensation in the body just wanting attention? I was told I have lupus. It is scary. It comes and goes as the symptoms come and go. When I am with the sensation, I find I am getting attached to feeling better. Okay, that's also a sensation too, the attachment to feeling better.
Yeah, so, it feels like there's no way out of, you feel the sensation, it's easier when it's just an emotion, like if some anger has come up or, we just did something someone else is doing, but when it's in the body, when you went through this, right, and it has more to do with whether you're going to live or not.
Yes.
There's a lot more charge with it.
Yes.
And I'm being with the sensation, hoping that it's gonna go away.
Yeah. So that's not so that's really you're trying to be with the sensation, but you're not really being with the sensation because hope is a thought. Hoping for it to go away. That's a thought. Okay. So then that's
not. Might not be after I'm done with it. It might be like in a couple days, I'll be like, well, I was already with that sensation. How come I don't feel better?
Yeah. See, that's like being with the sensation for an outcome too. So there's an outcome attached to it. In my experience, Christine, there is a total embrace of death and the sensation that came with that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a total embrace of death. There's also an embrace, like whatever fearful things come up, like being afraid that I'm just gonna not have any energy my whole life, or I'm just not gonna be able to do anything, or maybe I'm just gonna be in bed the rest of my life, And so all the thing. Yeah. So all those thoughts are coming with sensation. Death being the biggest one. That's a big one. So so that's the kind of thing that probably comes up a lot, and that's a big fear. That's a big ego fear is death, and as you know, there's actually no such thing as death because there's not even birth didn't even happen. It's just imagination. It's all imagination. Yeah, and it's like you hear that in words, but you don't really experience it because of fear. And so, what happened in my case is that I just allowed the mind to go there. If that's where the mind was going toward death, okay, all right, let's embrace that, and see what that's like. And the thing is that it's like once it's embraced like that, it's not scary at all. And it's like anything can just happen because it's all the same. It's all really the same.
You make it sound so simple.
It is though. It actually is. It actually is. It's so simple. It's just that there's this idea that you're supposed to be a certain way. Like you're not supposed to have this lupus or whatever is going on with your body. In my case, it was almost a total adrenal failure, which is death, you know. It was like tested at 4% or number 4 out of 1,000, which is supposed to be the minimum.
Oh, I was around 20, so I kind of know where you're at.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, yeah. So it just, and you know, and gratitude. That's another thing. That's what's missing a lot with something like that. Like when you might be brushing up with death or feeling like you're so sick and you're not gonna get better. Gratitude is huge right there because it's all such a beautiful experience. It's all for learning and growing, which is naturally happening. And of course that learning and growing isn't happening to you because you're just unchanging. But there's this mind that's apparently learning and growing. And as it learns and grows, it becomes more peaceful. And that's the beauty of it. That's why everything that comes is an opportunity for gratitude. It's an opportunity to feel more and get deeper into the sensations. And I think that's where the healing comes from too. You know, it's just like all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay. All of a sudden it just came to me, okay, stop eating. And it was funny. It's like I know there's not like a particular cure for this. It's not like, oh, now everyone can just stop eating when they get adrenal failure. But in my experience, it just came as stop eating. Just stop eating. I stopped eating for 5 weeks. Felt a hell of a lot better.
Wow.
But it's not like that becomes the cure either. It's just
Right.
Something just arises. It's like, oh, and it's immediately when that came up, I just go, wow, I could feel that was it. And it was just, because immediately there's like this feeling like, oh, okay, been there, done that. You know, and then maybe it won't get better too, and that doesn't matter. There's plenty of people who have been like ill their whole life and totally happy and peaceful, and that's really the crux of the matter. That's like just being happy and peaceful, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I love you. So if anyone has any questions for me, just raise your hand now. It's a little bit after 2 o'clock, so I'm going to end the session unless somebody has a question. Will you be posting this on Facebook? I think so, if the recording works. Yes, if the recording worked, I will. We'll see how that goes. I bet I'll get better at this next time. We'll see. All right, everyone. Aloha. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you again soon. Yay. Mahalo.